in my hotel room in China, and I've just got a little present that I bought myself. I'll open it up for you, the box, and you can see we have the Miro, let's get it right, sorry, 361 degrees Miro. This is a very lightweight running shoe, Chinese brand. It's supposedly 122 grams in my UK size 9. Haven't weighed them yet, but that's what I've been told. So if that is the case, they are by far and away the lightest shoe I own. Apparently a very, very good shoe over 5 to 10k distances. A bit of a challenge longer than that, but we'll find out. I'll use these on a park run at some point. But yeah, I'm excited to try these out. I mean, my next closest weight to this is this Sky Paris 180, so we'll see. Anyway, see you later. Bye bye. Hi everyone, it's Ed from Runnable. In this review I want to tell you a little bit about the 161 degrees Miro. It's a shoe I picked up recently in Shanghai. It's a Chinese brand. I weighed this shoe just now, and in my UK size 9 it comes in at 120 grams. Yes, 120 grams. Let that sink in a second. So if we compare it with my second lightest shoe, which is the Asics Metaspeed Sky Paris at 181 grams, you know, there's a whopping great 60 gram difference. So this is an incredibly light shoe. I've used it on a little loop pace test in Oakle Park recently, and you can see the footage in this video, you know, after this video. And what I have to tell you is this is an incredibly fast shoe. It's a really good shoe, I think, for the 5k distance, possibly 10k distance. It's so light on your feet, it kind of promotes very quick cadence. And all in all, I think it's quite a clever design, and we'll go into talk a little bit about that in a minute. But anyway, as usual, let's start with the geometry and kind of characteristics of the shoe. So we talked about the weight, 120 grams. Stack height's a tricky one. There's no official, no official guide on stack. But if you look closely at this shoe, you'll see something a bit unique with this shoe. So the heel here measures around 30 millimeters, but when we get down to the forefoot here, we've got over 40 millimeters, right? I think there's a little bit of a sidewall here. So I think the actual height of the foam sitting underneath the foot is around about 40 millimeters. So you've actually got a negative drop, and quite a considerable negative drop. And when you walk around in this shoe, you do actually feel like you're walking around like it's tipping up like that. And when you run in it, it really encourages you to get onto this forefoot. So straight away, I'm going to say it right now, this is not a good heel striker shoe. This is for someone who's a forefoot striker or midfoot. So if you land around here, there's also a lot of foam under here, similar sort of stack over 40. You'll tip forward, you'll roll forward nicely. If you land about here, like I do, you really will hit the ground and roll forward. It's got a nice toe spring. I didn't feel like I engaged the plate. There's a carbon plate in here, by the way. Didn't engage the plate quite as much, you can see it there, as I did the Sky Paris. It's not quite as bouncy as that, but because it's incredibly light, it feels like you've got nothing on your foot, absolutely nothing. So it feels like you're running in bare feet, apart from you've got all this cushion under the forefoot. So it's a really interesting shoe. Like other things that kind of make it stand out is the upper. Now you can basically see it's completely transparent. You can see my fingers through there, yeah? It's so light and I guess breathable. I haven't really tried it in hot weather, but it felt fairly breathable. It's I'm not sure it will be the most durable upper, but I did get good lockdown. I think that's partly because it's quite narrow, so it held my foot well. Laces are fine. I cinched them, but I didn't have to tie them that tightly, so I didn't get any pressure on the top of my feet because it was that tight. So this is not a high volume shoe. So if you've got really big feet, wide feet, or like you know, fat toes like me, you might struggle a little bit with this in terms of like it feeling a bit constrictive. But I actually got away with it, I think, and what it did mean for me is the lockdown was really good because it was that tight around the foot. Not sure I'd want something quite as tight as this for sort of anything beyond 10k. You do, in the heel collar, you do get a couple of pads there, and that kind of holds your heel in place, holds your ankle in place. And it's got a very loose heel counter. I found that fine. To be honest, I didn't have any problems with lockdown in this shoe. I thought it was fine. But I think by and large that was because it felt quite tight fitted. And then the outsole, very minimal, very lightweight rubber, very thin. This is not going to be a durable shoe, I can tell you that now. I wouldn't see this lasting many marathons. I'd say a couple, maybe 2, 3, and you're going to be looking at getting another shoe. Already the foam is starting to crease a little bit. You see the creases here. I only ran in this once. The foam itself, there's not much more to say about it. I got reasonably good grip, not as good as, again, the Asics shoes, but still good enough. There's quite a lot of exposed foam there, and they've already got dints in. You can see, maybe see that one there, it's got a dint from hitting a stone or something. So it's not going to last that long, I'll tell you that now. So you would keep this just for racing, and maybe just road racing, 5k. I would never take this on any trail or anything with you know, sharp stones, because you're going to puncture this foam pretty quick. You're going to break it. Yeah, and then all in all, I got, with the geometry of the shoe and with the nice stack under the forefoot, which suits me, I got a nice bounce, it threw me forward. It wants you to get up onto this forefoot. I predominantly see this as a 5k shoe, maybe 10k. I'm going to use this on a park run very soon, hopefully. And hopefully it'll be good. I mean, you know, I wonder whether it'd be quite as good as the Metaspeed, you know, Edge or Paris. They feel like, although they're heavier, they feel a little bit more solid, and something that I can maybe hit the floor a bit harder with. But this is still not bad. You know, it's got decent rubber coverage. I think the foam reminds me a bit of Zoom X, actually. And I know there's a lot of stuff going around about how Chinese companies are copying Western brands, you know, and they may well have done that with Zoom X here, but it just feels like that, and its crease is the same way Zoom X does. It's just, they've gone for real, to make this as light as possible. They've stripped away everything, basically. Minimalist upper, minimalist outsole, very thin rubber, covers most of the key areas, but kind of obviously misses this area on the medial side, on the heel. It's not a good shoe for heel strikers anyway, so I suggest if you're heel strikers, you would stick clear of this. You need to land around here, I think, to get the best benefit from it, but you could, in theory, land here as well. So yeah, so in the pace test I did, running in this shoe, like I said, nice, bouncy, springy, wanted me to get up onto my forefoot. A lot of cushion, soft compound here, so not firm at all, quite soft. Needs the plate for stability reasons. I didn't feel like I was engaging it that much in terms of propulsion, but it did feel like a shoe that I could go fast in. It encouraged high cadence, high turnover of my feet. So yeah, all in all, I think this is definitely one to watch. I'll try it out soon, I hope, in a park run, and I'll give you a better kind of in-depth review of what it was like to race in this shoe. But that's ultimately what this is, a race shoe. And I think I'm going to say right off the cuff, I can't imagine myself going more than 10k in this. If I did a half marathon in this, I think it might just be a little bit too tight for me, but you never know. If I really like it on 5k, I'll try 10k with it, and who knows, if I like it on 10k, I might consider a half marathon. The fact it's so light is an advantage. You know, I'm not preoccupied with light shoes. that said, racing shoes, I think, are the one bracket of shoes where it does help if something's a bit lighter. The downsides of this shoe is definitely durability. The upper's very flimsy, could rip very easily. There's very minimal rubber coverage, and where there is, it's very thin. You've got lots of exposed foam, and this foam itself I don't think is the most durable. I think it's a bit like Zoom X, and I think it's going to wear away pretty quick. You know, it's probably less durable than, say, the Vaporfly, which kind of says it all. That's all I want to say today. Hope you find this interesting. I think you can get these off the AliExpress. So if it's any good, you might want to look at that. I mean, as I say in the run footage, just be careful you don't get charged a load of import tax. If you pay the tax before as part of the sale, then you'll avoid this UK import tax that you get. If it's under £135, which includes delivery, by the way, so it needs to be under 35 including delivery, you don't pay the import tax. So look at the overall price as well, but I think from what I've seen on AliExpress, it's more than that. So make sure if you do buy this, you're paying the tax up front. That's all I'll say. Anyway, that's enough from me for now. I'll post any run footage or race footage online hopefully soon, and you'll get a better idea how fast this shoe is. But in the pace test, it did pretty well, to be honest. It's comparable with a lot of the shoes I've been testing recently. Anyway, that's all for me. Hope you found this useful, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye. Let's go. Oh, so straight away, these are soft shoes, soft and springy, and they're very, very light, as I said, and they're looking for me to pick up my cadence as I run. So they're not necessarily bounding shoes, although, you know, there's some similarities I'm feeling with the Sky Paris here, actually. Low drop, plenty of stack under the forefoot, wants me to pick up my cadence, decent toe spring. I don't feel the same rockers you do on the Edge Paris rolling me forward. I feel it's similar to the Sky, if anything. Nice toe spring, quick cadence, although I know the Edge encourages quick cadence as well. Maybe a combination of the two. But they're the closest shoes that I own to this one. Let's go. See, I run to a point where it's not easy for me to talk, so it's a good indication of hard effort for me, but not good for you guys, because you're going to hear me spluttering and coughing and rubbish like that. So I'm feeling a lot of cushion under the forefoot, has to be said. These are definitely, I think, for forefoot strikers.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
The heel is quite narrow, and there seems to be a bit of a cutaway there. So, and no, for once, the stack is probably similar in the heel to the forefoot. So I feel like these have been designed for people who land further forward. Quite a narrow shoe. The upper's so light, you can see right through it. Quite flimsy. I don't see this upper wearing well, to be honest. I see this shoe is predominantly being saved for races, 5, 10k. Not convinced I'll take it further than that, but you never know. such a narrow base. Such a light shoe. Getting decent lockdown in this shoe, and the grip isn't too bad actually. It's quite slippy ground, but the grip's good enough. Hey, you're right. Yeah. Not quite as good as the grip you get in the Sky or Edge Paris. I really like that grip. Similar properties, that very thin rubber, but I feel like it's not quite there, but it's by no means bad, which is good. So light, really encourages fast cadence. Oh, it's a hard effort. Ooh. Out of the way, crows. Or are they rocks? Always get those mixed up. Right. Soon I'll be on the home stretch, and we'll be able to check the time. They're nice to run in this year. I'm already thinking 5k will be fine in this. I had my doubts actually when I saw how narrow it was and how fat my feet are, but the upper kind of moves a bit. You get a bit of it's a little bit malleable, if that's the right word. Negotiate the children. I'll knock a couple hundredths of a second off my pace, no doubt. But this is, like I said, not meant to be overly scientific, just an indication of how good the shoe is. I think, salute you Magpie, I think you can get this shoe off the, I was going to say Ali Pali, but AliExpress platform. Just be careful if you do to make sure to pay the taxes up front if you can. Otherwise you might get hit with an unpleasant surprise when they're going through UK customs. I think they need to be under £135 and you're okay. Anything over is liable for duty tax, which could be considerable depending on the price. Right, nearly finished, give it. Oh. Let's stop the watch. Oh, come on, stop. Right, that was interesting. So, sorry, I know that was upside down. Just for interest, when I had trouble stopping my watch then, and it's saying 350 km, but I think it would have been quicker than that. So, quick shoe for sure. Don't think it's quite up there with the Wave Rebellion or the Edge according to that, but you know, had I been able to stop it in time, maybe it would have been. So I'm not sure about that one, but definitely felt quick. Let me just save this before I lose it. Alright, so I'm going to do a little stretch in the gym, so I'm going to run to the gym and give you some more thoughts. So, a nice shoe to run in. If you land on your forefoot, you've got that full length plate there, and sandwiched between that what feels like soft, springy bouncy Piva foam. Maybe not quite as springy as the FF Turbo you get in the Edge or Sky Paris, but not far off. If you're going to look for a similar shoe, it's those two. What I would say though is the geometry of this one seems a bit different. I really wouldn't want to be heel striking at all in this shoe, whereas I think in the other two you could. Definitely a quick shoe though, and definitely think I will take this on a 5k park run, hopefully this side of Christmas. So I've got probably one more that I could use this shoe on, and that'll be it. But yeah, nice to run in. Not the most stable as you can imagine. Platform's narrow. The foam is soft. So almost with those two things together, it doesn't bode well for stability, unfortunately. But I didn't buy this shoe for stability. I bought it for out and out speed, and to see whether these Chinese brands have actually caught up or even surpassed the Western brands in terms of performance on super racing shoes. It's interesting actually, because I know there's a lot of debate on how they copy Western shoes like the Vaporfly, and how they've been copying the Alphafly and everything else, and I kind of understand why that could be annoying for some people, but reality is copying happens everywhere, not just in China. One brand copies another brand, people move from one brand to another, take their ideas with them. It happens all the time, right? So I don't think you should get fixated on China as this kind of evil. Rest of the world is good in that respect. They're all playing the game, which is the Game of Thrones, to win or watch. Guy wasn't looking where he's going. Yeah, you win or die, and with shoes, it's not far, not too different than that with running shoes. You have to have a good running shoe, racing shoe, as part of your rotation. And you know, Hoka have got the Cielo and the Rocket X2. Nike have got obviously Alphafly, Vaporfly. You've got Asics with the Meta Speeds, Puma Nitro, DV8 Nitro Elite, and also Fastar. They've all got these super racing shoes as part of their running shoe real estate, and so the Chinese companies have to follow suit, which they've done, which 361 degrees. So yeah, so the 361 obviously is not a brand we've heard of much at all in the UK or, you know, rest of the world other than China. But I'm telling you now, this is a decent running shoe, particularly 5k. And if you can get it at a decent price, I think it's going to be a real winner for some of you. It won't be very durable, so this is your race only shoe. Remember that. Don't take it on ridiculously silly long runs, because you'll wear it out. I think the upper itself won't last very long, let alone the foam. Anyway, pretty good shoe. All in all, I'm quite excited to try this in a race, park run or something like that. So I'll take it on a park run hopefully this weekend, and let's see how they do. I'm just going to do a few stretches in the gym. and I'll see you later. Every step counts. Okay, so my final thoughts on the Miro, having done a stretch in the gym, so my legs are a bit looser now. On the Miro, not the Miro, sorry, the 361 degrees Miro, are that this is extremely light shoe. It encourages quick cadence. You can go fast in this shoe. Not the most stable shoe. It's got very soft foam with a plate that gives some stability. Still, I'm not convinced this would be a good shoe for anyone over 10k unless you've got really good form. Key points here though, this is not a shoe for heel strikers. Just tried a bit of running on my heel and it feels really weird, and that kind of backs up how it feels to walk in this shoe. You walk and you feel like you're falling back a bit, so it very much feels to me like this has got negative drop, i.e. more foam in the forefoot than the heel, which is unusual, right? But it kind of makes sense if you think about it. For those who just land on the forefoot, they want that stack, and those that don't really use the heel section much, it kind of works. But I think 60-70% of people heel strike, so this is not going to be a good shoe or choice for them, even if you can get hold of it on the AliExpress. So, but those who are forefoot strikers, this is a real viable 5k shoe. I think I can get a really quick time in this shoe because of how light it is, nimble it is, how much it encourages me to go quickly. And that's all I'll say for now, but I'm going to get another coffee. See you later.